What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Apocaflix now. Happy Friday from Apocaflix Movies. It is a small crew today. It is myself, Jake Berlin, and I am joined today by Mr. Brian Avellino and our usual special guest, Mr. Max Posner. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Always. We have a really fun show tonight. It's obviously a little bit of a smaller crew. Both Jacob and Gio have some prior obligations to take care of. And per usual, Mr. Keith Barnes will be joining us a little bit later as he gets home. But just to preview what we got going on tonight, obviously through the thumbnail, you guys can tell what we're going to be discussing today. And we're going to be doing some streaming suggestions, our streaming recs, if you will, from each of the platforms that are available. And it's kind of nice because quarantine is still kind of happening, and HBO Max also just dropped, and so we can throw some recs up there from that. And then obviously the other side of the thumbnail is the Justice League tease, and that's going to be held off until Keith gets here because Keith has some thoughts that he wants to discuss. There are some things that he wants to discuss, and so we will get to that once he pops in here. But before we get to anything, we start the show off with the movie watching challenge. You haven't seen what? In other words, and Mr. Brian Avellino was challenged for this past week by myself, and he chose Keith's movie, which was Catch Me If You Can, the Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks film. And so, Mr. Avellino, why don't you take it away on what you thought on Catch Me If You Can?
So I watched it this morning because I remembered I hadn't watched it yet. Literally, I was sitting on the couch, like trying to figure out what to watch this morning, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And so
you're lucky you don't have work.
Yeah. So threw it on. I've obviously heard of the movie, and it was just like one of those ones that I just didn't see, I guess. And it was really good. I actually enjoyed it. Freaking everyone is in this movie. Like literally, like every time I like blinked, I felt like there was a different actress on the screen. Between Amy Adams, Jennifer Gardner.
Garner.
Always correct me. Elizabeth Banks was in it. Just everyone's in it. But yeah, I this is the type of movie I like because the pace doesn't really
Ellen
stop.
Pompeo.
Yeah, she was in it. She made out with Leo for like
I
30
forgot
seconds.
Elizabeth Banks was in this movie.
Yeah, she's like
very young in it.
Yeah, all of them are. I mean, Amy Adams is like a child.
Yeah, very young.
Like a child in this movie. I mean, so is Leo, obviously, but
but yeah, it there was a lot of people in this movie, and like I said, Keith knows what to pick for me because he knows that if it's slow, I'll lose interest, and this wasn't slow. It did seem a little long, but I didn't mind it. But did Leo win anything for this? Because like, I felt like he should have because he was really freaking good.
He didn't win anything until The Revenant, as far as the lead actor goes.
Yeah,
that's true.
I can look up what he won for if it was like a supporting, because technically it doesn't really feel like a lead role. Like it's very much a co-lead with Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Tom Hanks is freaking awesome in this. He's so good.
It's like prime Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Leonardo DiCaprio won Best Award, Teen Choice Award for Best Liar in 2003.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's a liar in the movie.
Does it say?
Let's see. Christopher Walken won for an award. John Williams won for a score in the film, and Steven Spielberg won for the director. But Leo was only nominated as Best Liar at the Teen Choice Awards.
That blows my mind because he was phenomenal in it. First off, that's kind of weird that teenagers are watching that movie, and not that it's sexual or anything. Just
it's a Spielberg movie.
I guess. But yeah, no, it was really good. I liked it. I don't know what to really say to describe it because it's just a
Well,
change.
what do you think about what do you think about it being a true story and everything? The fact that it all really happened.
It blows my mind that he was able to pull
All those
that.
checks.
Yeah, the one thing that bugged me was I wanted to know that makes not Gio.
Oh, hey, Mr. Bartley, where you at? Hi.
He has time
Hi.
for this. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, we are corrected. There we go.
Okay,
Leo had a Golden Globe nomination for it.
that makes sense.
Okay.
What was I? I lost my train of thought. Well, you asked me something. What was it? I already lost my train of thought.
It being a true story.
Oh, the one thing that I was bummed that they didn't reveal at the end, I would have liked to know how much money he.
Yeah. Well, they probably don't know.
Because at one point they're like, yeah, he's already spent $1.3 million, and that was like really early. Not early, but okay. Well, come in.
There he is. There he is, Mr. Keith Barnes.
What's up?
I'm talking about your movie right now.
Oh, never mind. Okay, cool. That's right. All right.
I liked it. It was really good.
Good. I knew you would.
Yeah. You know how to pick a pace movie for me.
Yes. All right. Where did I interrupt? Where were you?
We're talking about the true story aspect, and if you know, like how he couldn't believe it, and we were talking about exactly like Brian wanted to see how much money he really, in fact, frauded and stole essentially, but it was more so just about the true story and how real it was.
He's not the most Frank Abagnale. I watched a documentary about him. I don't know if he's the most reliable, narrator about a story. I know the part in the movie where where he actually went back to meet his dad, Christopher Walken, of course. That actually did not happen. He actually, once he ran away from the courtroom from his parents, he never saw his parents again.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So Spielberg actually put that in the movie, but that actually didn't happen.
That scene was rough. That went like I can't even imagine like that actually happening to people in real life. Like as a child that comes from a divorced home, like I would have known who I would have picked, as horrible as that sounds. But
no, I know
it's just like putting a pen and go in the other. He literally says, "Go in the other room and pick who you want."
Right.
Like,
that's awful thing to put your kids through.
That part was rough. But it was really good. I just would have loved to know by the end how much he actually frauded. And I loved the part where he put the toy planes in the bathtub and peeled
in that solution or whatever.
So good, so smart. And then the next shot is the camera where it pans over the floor and there's just checks everywhere.
Checks everywhere, and the bathtub's filled with planes.
Yes, it's amazing. The way that just the whole process of how his mind work is incredible.
And the first time he escapes from Tom Hanks, where he pretends to be a Secret Service agent, I was like, oh my god!
And Leo plays it like
Agent Barry Allen,
so great.
Yes.
Leo plays it so great.
They both were so like perfect as what they were portraying. Yeah, but it was
like how he was Special Agent Barry Allen. Do you like how he's,
and then Tom Hanks, how he was able to put like little pieces together to connect his, like he almost basically was telling him every time where he was, like hoping he would get found. Almost,
it was a game. It was a total game to him.
So, and then at the very end, finding out that he literally went from like good to bad to back to being not bad, really. So, I mean, you don't hear a lot of those stories, but I mean, if you're that good at what you're doing, I mean, why not? And the fact that he's like probably more wealthy than his fake money days were, it's just like, jeez.
Yeah.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Spielberg. Good. So glad. I knew you would. This was 2002, I think, or
2003.
I think,
I think it's 2003. I'll look.
2002.
All right. Well,
Out there. Yeah, it's 2002.
Okay,
I want to see this reaction.
2005.
Jake, 2-0. 2-0. Come on.
Oh, okay. Wait, you're starting this now? You're starting this now. Those are two matches that I was not included in. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
But yeah, this and Minority Report in the same year.
Yes.
I believe. Pretty sure, right? When they both yeah. So it's a big year for Spielberg, and those are both two of my favorite Spielberg movies. But yeah, I'm glad. Like I said, this is one of my favorites. Certainly in recent times. I know a lot of people think Spielberg's fell off, but I love this one. And yeah, him and DiCaprio, I think it's their only collaboration, right? I don't think they've done anything else.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think maybe second or third at the time with Tom Hanks. No, Private Ryan was a few years earlier.
Let's see.
Something like that. Yeah. So
I love the scene.
Maybe second.
I love the scene where he goes to the university to pick out females to be co-pilot,
right.
or not co-pilot, stewardesses, and
yes.
the Pan Am internship program, and he just literally picks out the best-looking people to distract the FBI agents, and it works.
That was great. That was a great scene. You had like 4 on each arm.
Yeah, there's literally 8 of them, and just no one notices.
So this was this was 3 at the time. You had Saving Private Ryan, The Terminal, this one, and then eventually you had Bridge of Spies later on.
Oh, forgot about The Terminal. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bridge of Spies, and then The Post. Right. Then you got The Post.
The Post was after Bridge of Spies. Yes, correct.
A little bit later.
Slow movie.
Oh, that's so good. I like that one. You're like young. I know we got to move on, but you got young Jennifer Garner.
Yes.
Young Jennifer Garner in there.
When you
racing.
Yeah, that was one of the first thing I said is everyone and their mother was in this movie. Jennifer Gardner.
Yeah.
What else?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams. Yeah.
Elizabeth Banks was in it for a second. Ellen Pompeo.
She was. That's all right. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. Good choice. I liked it a lot.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Great.
All right. Well, there it is. Mr. Avellino loved Catch Me If You Can. Keith, great choice. The second part of this challenge is the person that Brian challenges. And that this week goes to me. He is picking me this week to be challenged. And the crew, including Max, have thrown out some movies for myself to pick. And I'm going to be picking a number here in just a second and see what I get challenged to. Brian, you got the movies up, correct?
I am looking at it right now, sir.
All right. Well, no surprise here. I'm going with number 4. Tell me what it is.
Well, the new person is going to be happy because you picked his movie.
I got Max's?
Yeah.
Which is?
I can't believe you hadn't seen this. I mean, that's the purpose of this, but Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
The only one in the entire show that has seen it is Keith. I couldn't believe that. It's like an iconic film, and Keith is the only one. That was it.
Sorry.
Wait, none of you? What? I cannot believe you haven't seen this movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, iconic horror film.
Now I'm going to watch it.
Yo, yeah. Wow. I can't wait for next week. Oh, man. Really shocked.
I will say, Jake, you had some very good choices for movies in your list.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, cool. Well, don't tell me the other 4. I ended up picking Silence of the Lambs. That is Mr. Anthony Hopkins and oh my God, what's her name? Oh my God, what is her name? Main actress.
I'm losing it too.
Main actress. Keith, help me, man. What's her name?
Jodie Foster.
Get there.
Jodie Foster. There we go. Jodie Foster and Anthony
I was
Hopkins.
going to say Taxi Driver. Yeah.
So I will be reviewing that movie next week. I'll check it out this week, and then I will throw my challenge back out at someone. But for now, we're going to move on, guys. And before we move on, just 1 second. If you guys did not know, this show and all of our shows are available on podcast platforms. One of the options we do have, which we run our site through, is Anchor. Anchor, it distributes all of our podcasts everywhere, and you guys can see right here, all of our episodes to all of our shows are available. We have dozens and dozens and dozens of them going back for months, possibly years. You guys can check those out. Not just Anchor, but you guys can follow it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and so many more. And I want to give a shout out real quick. I just noticed this, but about 2 weeks ago, this happened. Rachel, our avid fan, she said supported the podcast, and which means she has given us money for the podcast platform. So thank you very much, Rachel, for that.
Rachel,
very, very helpful and amazing. So thank you again, guys. You guys can find us anywhere on any podcast platform. Just type Apocaflix Movies, Padawan Podcasts, Nerd Nation, The Casting Table, any of those, and you will find all of our episodes. They are available everywhere. And so make sure you guys check that out. But for now, that's going to wrap up that plug. Let's go and move on to the next part of the show. And this was only a part of the show for a quick segment because Mr. Keith Barnes had something to say about a Zack Snyder's Justice League that happened this week. Obviously, everybody knows in the world that a 30-second teaser was dropped for the Zack Snyder Justice League, which will be debuting on HBO Max next year. We did a trailer reaction. Brian and Gio did one of those. You guys can check that out on the channel. But for now, we're going to do a quick discussion on it, just kind of a little overview. But I know Keith hasn't had a chance to kind of speak on it, so I want to start with you, man. What did you think about this, and what are your thoughts overall? Because I know you said you wanted to voice some things on this.
Well, it's fine. Looks fine. I mean, I can't really. Again, it kind of feels like the same. Remember that very first trailer, like 4 years, however long ago, 5 years ago that they released that we were like, oh, cool. Justice League kind of, sort of, for me, sort of feels like that, to be honest. I mean, so I'm glad everybody's excited. Theo, I'm glad you're excited, man. But again,
Pump brakes.
Stay medium,
Pump
guys.
brakes.
Yeah, stay medium. Goodness gracious. The whole cinema landscape has changed. This is the greatest. Like, oh my goodness. Like, so the thing look, I don't want to. I'm teasing Gio. He's not here to defend himself, so I don't want to go. I'm gonna go at him too hard. But he made a comment on our group chat that
here we go.
This is the one where I'm like, okay, I got to get in here on this one. But I've seen others do it too. But comparing whatever Dark Side is to Thanos is, come on, guys, stop it. Stop. It's, how long do we see him? For seconds. Quick flash. So, like, you know, it's not, is it, who's playing? Do we know?
Yeah, the actor's name is somewhere. Let me go and look it up real quick. He is out there, but he isn't.
See that right there. Right. See, there you go. Like there's no comparison, and we know that. You know, so you know, we don't have the counter argument here. So, but
his name is Ray Porter. His name is Ray Porter.
Ray Porter. Okay.
Gio's in the chat
right,
if you haven't noticed.
Okay. Oh yeah. Let me. Ray Portier. Is he related to Sydney?
I'm not sure.
He's related to Sydney. Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay. Porter. No, he corrected it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, wow, Portier. Well, yeah, man. Just let's feel. I hope he's cool. Look, Darkseid. I know that Thanos is a ripoff of Darkseid in the comics. But you know, that was 50 years ago. So, but what they did,
every comic character rip off of some other character at some point.
Exactly. I say all the time, Green Arrow is a blatant ripoff of Batman. But you know, I know he said
this guy is a blatant ripoff of Batman, and Moon Knight is the most blatant ripoff.
Yeah, no,
of Batman.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely. You know, but again, this speaks to a lot of what could have been. You know, they could have built this up to be, you know, the comment that got us going was Gio said that Thanos at this point was more menacing. I'm sorry, Darkseid was more menacing than Thanos prior to
Infinity
War. Right. Which, when I see where he's going, what I think he's trying to say, but I vehemently disagree. Because the threat of was there. Just because we didn't see him, it doesn't mean he wasn't. That threat was looming. Certainly people were asking questions like, okay, where's Thanos? What's he gonna do? We just saw him sitting in a chair in Guardians of the Galaxy, and seen him in a couple post-credit scenes. But you knew it was coming, right? And the fact that they cast Josh Brolin, which they did well. I think maybe in 2014, I think they announced that. Or no, prior to that, because he was in Guardians of the Galaxy. So.
Yeah, it was for Guardians.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But
the original face of Thanos wasn't him.
No, it
wasn't him. Yeah, another guy. Yeah. So, and they delivered, right? And and I know he's talking pre-Infinity War, but we're talking about one of the greatest movie villains we've had in modern time. Like, you can't. Let's not. I don't want to make those comparisons yet. Let's wait and see. Because I'm sure people were saying all this about Steppenwolf, and he's just another big gray CGI villain, another standard WBDC CGI villain giving lectures to the heroes, and So
what
wait,
about the
slow down,
ones,
everybody. Chill.
What about the fans that say the 30 seconds is already better than the Whedon whole entire movie?
That might be it. I might be with them on that. Yeah.
Max, I want to get your thoughts real quick, because you're coming from a place that obviously isn't in the know like we are. I don't know if you've even seen the teaser or not, but what do you think about a whole new Justice League movie coming?
Well, when we were talking beforehand, I thought that they had already done a Justice League movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not intrigued by it. Ever since they started putting the DC movies together, it's never really gripped me. None of them. I mean, Wonder Woman is very good. I will give her that, but none of them have gripped me the right way, and I can't get behind it. I really was captured. I mean, I'm not a huge, as you kind of said, I'm not a huge superhero guy, and the Avengers were able to capture me in that way, in a way that I actually never really expected. So I've kind of given my all that way, and DC is not doing it for me. Ever since they let Christian Bale go, it's over.
Oh
Gotcha.
my god.
Gotcha. Still holding on that one, which is fair.
Yeah.
That's for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Rachel makes a point here. To be honest, I didn't think Thanos would be that great either from the glimpses before Infinity War. So the same applies to Darkseid, but with less faith in that world. It seems to be like a lot of places, or a lot of people's feelings at this point. And then she also adds the entire teaser at least kept the same tone, I suppose, which is a good point, because the Whedon cut, or the non-Snyder cut, I will say, was definitely all over the place. And I have no doubt that the new movie will probably be definitely the same throughout the entire thing. All right. Well, any final thoughts on this one before we head to our main topic for tonight, gentlemen?
Nope.
No, I can't wait for this movie to come and go. We have to hear.
We have a year of hearing about it.
No. Wait till August when they do
the DC fandom, the DC fandom event. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Lord have mercy on us for that.
All right. Well, before we move on to our next topic, our main topic of the night, I do want to tell you guys a little bit about our most recent poll we have up. This is one we showed last week.
Yeah.
You can see it right here. This is for our next watch along, guys, and this is happening next Friday. You guys can head to our YouTube channel under Community right here and vote on our next watch along. Just go ahead and select which movie you want. So right now, the way it's working is that each of us were given a streaming service to choose from, and we each picked a movie. So Brian decided to go with Who Framed Roger Rabbit from Disney Plus. Keith went from Fight Club for HBO. I chose Demolition Man from Hulu, which is terrible 2%. Boo. Gio went with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse for Netflix, and Jacob went with The Cabin in the Woods from Prime Video. Obviously, you can see Into the Spider-Verse is really just raking it up at this point. That looks like the one that we will be doing a watch along to next week on Netflix. But you guys can change that. You can possibly change that and sway the votes in one way or another with any of these. So head over to our YouTube channel under the community, and you can cast your vote today. Make sure you guys do that. You have a couple days to do so, because we will be officially deciding on either Monday, Tuesday, or possibly Wednesday if it gets close on this vote. So if you guys saw the thumbnail for tonight, you clearly saw that we are officially doing a streaming suggestion show where we are breaking down these streaming services and giving you guys our thoughts on what you should be watching.
Corn stream.
Corn stream, yeah, it's a good way. And quarantine is going on in some places and not going on in some places. So this is definitely one of those episodes, but it's kind of a little bit of a different episode. But we're going to be going through each of the streaming services and just talking about some suggestions that we want to do. I'll throw these comments up real quick because they have to do with the poll. I think, yes, I'm with you. And that's exactly why I wanted people to watch this, because it's exactly,
I have no idea what that.
And then she also says right here, someone who hasn't seen it before, maybe do a straight up reaction video instead of a watch along. Very true.
I've never seen
it. This movie's awesome.
I have no idea.
It's exactly why I wanted people to watch it. So,
awesome.
I love it's such a guilty pleasure. It's such a guilty pleasure.
It is.
Come on, Sly Stallone versus Wesley Snipes. Can't go wrong with that. So, and Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
But let's go and get this, guys. So we have 5 main streaming services to talk about, and then maybe an extra or 2 with some of the side ones that aren't as well known. Let's just go off the top here and start with Disney Plus. And we'll go alphabetical. And Brian, I'll shoot it to you first because you're on the right side of me. What are some of the recs that you want to throw at people as far as movies or television for Disney Plus?
So I'm not the most knowledgeable, obviously. I've probably seen the least amount of everyone. But as we were saying before, kind of with Max and I were talking, I have things on here that I'm going to be watching that I have kind of.
Which is totally cool.
Yeah, mixed with some things that I have watched. You heard me last week. I watched The Rocketeer. That was
one is mine as well.
Was yours? Yeah. Great movie. I've never seen it and enjoyed it a lot. And there are the 3 other movies that I haven't seen, and I'm probably going to get major-ish for, but they're on my list. So the first one is 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Brian.
I like that Max kind of.
I'm not as worried about the others.
I'm worried about the other ones. I'm worried about the other ones. What you're going to say right now?
This one didn't do well, but I still wanted to watch it. But John Carter.
That was the one I was gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was my main one I was gonna bring up. I'll talk about it when I get there.
Okay. Well, I don't know much about it. I'm just saying, that's what I'm gonna watch. And my last one, God, I already know it's coming. Is Cool Runnings.
Oh man,
I got no problems. You're all right.
Wow.
I give you enough.
Cool Runnings is a classic, an absolute classic.
It really is.
Oh my god,
so
good.
Oh.
Yeah, those are my 4.
You, Brian, you love that. You would love that movie.
Hey, are you dead, man? Yeah, I'm dead, man.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, so those were my picks.
Those are some good choices. Those are some really good choices. No, you're good. You're good. This could end up happening on all the streaming service. We can all pick something that we've all seen. But I definitely like all those choices. And as one who has seen all of them, I definitely recommend that anybody should watch all of them at one point or another.
Absolutely.
Disney's got a lot of good nostalgia movies up right now.
It's old classic Disney that we don't get very much these days, like The Rocketeer. And I hope at one point they get back to making movies like that because that's when they were brilliant.
Yeah, I had a lot more that I picked up. I was already at 4, and I was like, okay, let's not tell everyone. But they have a lot of good nostalgia ones up right now.
Cool. All right, Max, let's go ahead and go down to you.
Okay, so I took 2 sports. I did movies on this one for Disney. I have some shows as we go along, but just movies on Disney. And one of them, I'm pretty sure all of you have seen. I mean, it's a very iconic movie. I'd be very surprised if someone hadn't seen it. But it's Juneteenth, with everything that's going on, it couldn't be a better time to rewatch this film. And that's Remember the Titans. So I always recommend that.
Yes. Strong side, left side, strong side, left side.
Tremendous.
Sunshine.
So good. Such a good pick.
And then on the other spectrum, kind of what Brian was talking about, I went down the nostalgia route. I mean, that's what Disney Plus is best for. So I went to the I kind of went with the sports movies from the Disney originals. So for one, Full Court Miracle is probably my favorite.
Love it. Love it.
I'm a Jew. It's about Jewish kids. It's a great. And then I mean,
I never.
have you never heard it? It's about
I've never heard of it either.
five.
The Disney Channel original. Disney Channel DCMO, man.
Great one. Yeah, it's about five Jewish high schoolers, maybe middle schoolers that have the worst basketball team ever, and they're learning about the Maccabees and about miracles, and
so good.
Think that they have found the reincarnate Maccabee, and it's very good.
So good.
What's it called? I'm writing it down.
Miracle. The kid from Max Keeble's Big Move is the main character in that.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Yes.
So there's that, and then on that same topic, all the Disney original sports movies that are amazing. Double Teamed, Luck of the Irish, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off.
You're speaking my language right now, man. You're speaking my language.
And Brink. So
Brink is the best DCOM of all time.
Yes,
it's the best Disney Channel original of all time.
So,
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, dude. Oh my God.
Those are like I grew up on all of those movies, so please enjoy.
Brink, it's a rollerblading movie. The best.
Mm-hmm.
The best. X-Blades, I hate you. X-Blades. Great choices, Max. Great choices. Rachel's in on it. She had never heard of Cool Runnings, which is awesome that we brought it up. So
Jamaican
great choice there.
Team.
Yes, the Jamaican bobsled team, exactly. All right, Keith, let's go ahead and you, man. What do you got for Disney Plus?
All right. This is going to be a quick one. If you want to torture yourself, they've added Fantastic. I had to log on to see what.
Yes,
the name
I saw that.
What is it?
Fantastic Four. They added
version.
Fantastic Four, the Josh Trank one. So if you want to have a laugh, or if you want to yourself up a little bit, or if you're tired, you want to go to sleep because nothing really happens till right at the very, very end when they all just use their powers at once. Count how many times you see oh my gosh,
a wig.
Mara, the wig, yeah,
Kate Mara.
Kate Mara, yeah. Count how many times you see her hair change from her hair to that wig. It's one of those things where you don't, when people point it out, you're like, oh yeah, it actually is happening. So Fantastic Four 2015. And then my main one is I turned it on so I can see the name of it, but Disney Gallery.
Yeah.
And for those of you that liked season 1 of The Mandalorian, you get all the behind the scenes stuff,
Jake,
and there's a couple of oh, did I steal that one?
All 3 of mine were taken. All 3 of them were taken.
Oh, no.
It's all good. It doesn't. I'll just talk a little bit about that. But yeah, no, dude, I'm with you. The Disney Gallery, man.
He sits down, you get a little round table with all the different people involved, all the 4 or 5 directors, I think.
5 directors, yeah.
And, they all tell each their story of how they got started and how they got involved in this and their history as Star Wars fans, and a lot of breakdowns of each episode that they directed and worked on, or some even wrote a little bit of. It's awesome. It's awesome. If you love, I'm a behind the scenes guy. I love behind the scenes stuff. Jake, I know you are too, and people watching, following us probably do too. If you love that stuff, get into this, man. It's really good. It's got me even more excited for season 2. So yeah, Disney Gallery, I guess that's what it's called. And it's The Mandalorian. And here's one that just off the top of my head, because we were just talking about the other day, Artemis Fowl.
Don't you dare! You're doing that to be mean. Don't watch. Jesus.
Boy, I'm still thinking about Brian's reaction to that.
The worst movie of all time.
We talked about it on Bartley and Barn, which I don't think is up yet, but when that comes up, we'll let you know. You'll see that. But see Brian's reaction to Artemis Fowl.
I came in so hot. I think I threw Jacob off.
Yeah. Yes. Watch that movie and then go back and watch Brian's reaction and then have yourself a laugh.
All right. So as I had mentioned, all three of the choices I had that I was going to say were taken. So I had John Carter on there. I think this movie is criminally underrated and criminally underwatched.
Yeah.
It gave, for some reason, it really did give Taylor Kitsch a bad rap because he was in this movie. He was the lead. I really do think it's a fun, adventurous movie.
No.
I know it's not what the books are because a lot of the books fans, they don't like the adaptation for it because the movie was called John Carter and the books are called John Carter of Mars. It's just a different thing that they have going on. But I think the movie is so much fun. It's so adventurous. It's such a creative idea. And I would love to see something of this franchise in the future. I would love to see Taylor Kitsch back, but I know that's probably not going to happen. The next one I had was the Disney Gallery with The Mandalorian. As Keith mentioned, I'm a behind-the-scenes guy. I could watch it all day long. Just conversations from the directors and the creators, the guys at ILM and Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni and the actors that get involved and just the technology behind it. It's just such a brilliant-looking show. It's only about 30 minutes long, too, so if you want to check that out, highly, highly recommend. And then Brian mentioned as well The Rocketeer. I love this movie. I watched it the first time a few weeks ago. Really, really enjoy the movie. And like I had mentioned, it's old school Disney, which is my favorite kind of Disney. And so I highly recommend that. But off the top of my head, thinking of things that haven't been mentioned for Disney Plus, there is one there's two that I can think about right now. One of them was the Artemis Fowl connection with Colin Farrell that's Saving Mr. Banks, about Walt Disney and that story behind how that all happened in a specific time. And then the other one was Heavyweights, a Disney classic that I love. Heavyweights is a great movie. That's on Disney Plus, so I highly recommend those as well. All right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and step to the next one here, and let's go ahead and jump to Hulu, the next big one on the list. We'll save HBO Max for last because it's a newer service, but let's jump to Hulu here. And Max, I'm going to start with you this time, man. What do you have down for Hulu?
All right, so I have 2 shows to recommend and then 2 movies that I'm interested in watching myself. For one, I was thinking a while on this, and when I think about the best TV shows of all time, I think Breaking Bad, I think Dexter, I think Game of Thrones minus the final season. And what all those shows have in common are that they are action-packed. They keep you going at all times. They got something crazy happening at all times. But this show that always makes my top 3 best shows of all time is Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
And it does that without any of the action pack. It is the most real show I've ever seen in my life. And it is a great, if you need a boost, if you need to find who you are for a moment, that's the kind of show you should be watching. It will always be in my top, and it's on its own of what kind of show it is. Very much like the movie, but not like the movie at all at the same time. It goes very, very deep, and the character development is it's unrivaled. The character development is amazing. And my girlfriend watches all these shows now where I hear the people referencing Friday Night Lights and Coach on all these shows now. So it's stood the test of time. You should absolutely go see it. It's on Hulu. It's not on many other things. It keeps disappearing. So try to catch it before it's gone. Another show that I had is it's called Parenthood. It's basically the original version of This Is Us. A star-studded cast. Yeah, very good show. Very cool. Maybe a little less dramatic and action-packed than This Is Us, but has just the same amount of wholesome. Great storylines, great acting. So if you really like This Is Us, Parenthood is perfect for you. And then
good call.
Thank you. And then my 2 movies, I haven't seen either of them. One is I think an Oscar winner is Parasite.
It won Best Picture.
Yep. So very, very interested to see that. I just need to have the time to watch the subtitles and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I haven't quite gotten to it yet. And then another, who's the Staten Island guy, the King of Staten Island? What's his name? Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. Yeah.
Another Pete Davidson movie. He had 2 that came out right at the same time. This is called Big Time Adolescence. He is basically the stepbrother. I think I haven't seen it yet, but he looks like the stepbrother of a younger kind of straight-edged high school kid, and he's a deadbeat stoner. And they kind of pair up, and he's shown in the world and kind of takes him on as his actual brother and really cares about him. And I'm very intrigued by it.
That came out this year?
Yeah, just came out. It came out maybe a month before.
I'm gonna have I've never heard of it. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, so I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very intrigued by it. It looks very good.
Sweet. All right, Keith, let's go ahead and shoot to you, man. What do you got for Hulu?
All right, I got shows for Hulu. I rarely watch movies on Hulu, but there's one
no, they don't
I
have,
noticed that popped up. Yeah, I don't. But there's one on there that I really want to see that I was interested in, and I'm pretty sure it was in theaters. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember seeing the trailer. I want to see, and that's Hotel Mumbai.
Yeah, with Armie Hammer.
Yeah, Armie Hammer, Dev Patel, and and just terrorists taking over this hotel, and
true story.
I don't know, true story, right? I was gonna say it's based on true story.
Yeah, true story.
Okay, and looks pretty intense, so I definitely want to check that out. But one of these, my next one also. Oh, and the other one is it popped back on Hulu. Love this movie, Jake. It's our guy, Denis Villeneuve. Arrival is back on Hulu.
Great movie. I didn't realize that came back. That's a good choice.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check it now that I know it's on there. I'm definitely gonna be watching that soon.
Yeah, that's a great.
I was gonna say I might watch it tonight.
That movie. Oh my goodness, I love that movie.
I've actually seen that.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Great. All right. Good.
Cool.
My show. Really quick though, my show is. I'm so happy that this is going to be the show is being revived, and that is if you're a fan of food. I like food. I like the Food Network. I love Alton Brown, and he's bringing back Good Eats. Yeah.
No way.
Good Eats. Yes. So he's coming back. They're bringing it back, but what he's doing is he's going back into old episodes of Good Eats and redoing the recipes based on like some of his fan feedback that he's gotten.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
nice.
So good. Yeah. So he's going back and making like he'll go through the episode and just point out all the different things stuff he would do differently now, and then remaking what it is that he's making. He's just remaking it and saying, well, back then I said this and this is why, but now based on a lot of feedback that I got, now we're doing this, and it's Good Eats is one of my favorite shows of all time. And
all right, cool.
Yeah,
I love me some Food Network.
If you're a foodie, I highly recommend. Yeah.
Keith, if you like him, you should watch him on Worst Cooks in America.
Yes.
He destroys these people. Destroys them, ruins them. He's so mean to them, but it's hilarious.
It's the best. That show's amazing. New season starts on Sunday for Worst Cooks in America. For those of you who might be interested. All right, Brian, let's go ahead and go to you, man. What do you got for Hulu?
For Hulu, I have 2 shows, 1 movie. I have for
there you go, Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my movie, I have If Beale Street Could Talk.
Yeah.
That movie's so good.
Yeah.
So good. Have you seen that, Keith?
No, I've heard really good things.
Yeah, it's
Oscar nominated, I believe.
Yeah. It's such a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have 2 shows that I haven't watched but are on my radar. The first is the sequel show to Love, Simon, Love, Victor.
Yep.
I don't know anything. I mean, I know it's the sequel
Gabby
show.
started it and she really likes it.
Oh, really? I haven't really heard if it's good or not.
Yeah, she really likes it. So.
You loved the Simon one, right?
Yeah, the Simon one was amazing. But I have no idea how this
That's a
show.
movie, right? That's a movie.
Love Simon's the movie, yeah. Love Simon's the movie. Love Victor's the show. I think it premiered this week.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's brand new.
Oh.
And then my other one is The Great with Nicholas Hoult. He is the Russian prime minister.
Yeah, with Elle Fanning.
Yeah, with it's like it's an what's the term?
It's a satire period piece.
Yes, yeah, a period piece was the word I was looking for. But yeah, it's he's the not prime minister, but whatever the ruler of Russia is. But she, I think, is secretly trying to like usurp him and take over because he's one of his wife. She's one of his wives or something like that.
It's based on the rise of Catherine the Great, Elle Fanning, and Nicholas Hoult as the Emperor of Russia.
Emperor. Okay, so, but yeah, I was curious off those. So, but yeah,
sweet. All right, my Hulu choices. I have 3 movies. A lot of the TV shows on there. I don't really watch the originals. I mentioned the one original I watched, which was Little Fires Everywhere, on our most recent one. But I have 3 movies on here. I have,
did that hold up?
The show's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
The show's brilliant. Yeah. All 10 episodes or whatever it is brilliant. But the 3 movies I have is one of them is the Skeleton Twins. It's Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader.
Yes.
Very unknown movie. Everyone should give this movie a chance. It's a dark comedy, but it deals with very serious real life things, and it can relate to a lot of people. Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig play twins about reconnecting, and it's a very funny movie, but also a very kind of dramatic, heavy movie at times. The other one is a part of our watch along, which is The Cabin in the Woods. It's just, I love this movie. This movie is so fun. The ending is incredible. One of Chris Hemsworth's early movies, and it's from one of my favorite directors, Andrew Goddard. I think he's a brilliant filmmaker, and this is one of his early cases. And the last one I have is an animated film, one from my childhood that I will continuously watch, is The Prince of Egypt. The Prince of Egypt is a really, really, really good movie. It's a movie that a lot of people should watch. It's historically accurate as well, and it's a movie that I think, as far if you're any age, because I watched it as a kid. It's good as a kid's movie. It's good as an adult movie, but it's an oldie and definitely one that should not be overlooked at times.
Oh, sweet.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. Let's start with Netflix, guys. Let's get to one of the big boys here. Let's go with Netflix, and I'm gonna go with you first, Keith. Man, what do you got written down for Netflix here?
Okay. First one is my favorite animated series of all time. There's a movie adaptation that is one of the worst movies ever made, but the animated series is one of the best things ever, and that is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Nice.
Pop back up on Netflix since we last did one of these. So, and man, it's the same folks. I say who did we just mention? Oh my gosh, Star Wars guy. Oh my gosh, Filoni. Dave Filoni.
Oh, Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni.
The Star Wars guy.
Yeah. Yes, the guy. He worked on the first season of this. I think he talked about it on that Disney Gallery.
Yeah, no, you're right. He talked about it on the first episode about how George Lucas saw him do that, and then he essentially recruited him over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you definitely tell his influence all throughout all 3 seasons. 3 seasons, and just I'm not going to explain everything in it, but just highly recommend it if you like animation. Definitely some anime influences in there as well, and it's just really excellent storytelling. So Avatar: The Last Airbender, also one that you and I, Jake, we talked about a couple days ago on Bartley and Barnes. That is The Five Bloods.
Yep.
The latest Spike Lee film.
Yep.
I can't wait to watch
I'm still thinking about this movie, man.
It hasn't left my head. It hasn't left my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max, you gotta check this out, man. It's a new Spike Lee film on Netflix called The Five Bloods.
Yeah.
I like it or no?
Yeah, both of you should watch it tonight. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about watching Cabin in the Woods.
Whoa, Cabin in the Woods.
Movie. Definitely go see Cabin in the Woods. But okay, I'm on the Five Bloods. Come on, I'm in.
Yeah. It's pretty intense. Everything you said, and I'm not going to spoil any of it, but some great Oscar nominee level performances in this movie, and it's shot very well. It's beautifully shot, and just highly recommend it. Especially right now, being Juneteenth, as Max pointed out. So if you want to watch something to help, support, highly recommend that one. And then another one, it's a classic, at least for us. We've talked about it a bunch of times, but I watched it again last night for some reason. I just wanted to watch it. That is we put it up for a vote a few weeks ago, but that is Inception.
Yeah.
I watched this movie 10, 20, 30 times in a row. I love this movie. I've been listening to the score all week long.
The score titled Time. The score titled Time is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
Yeah. It was funny too. He has one called Time on Interstellar as well, which is weird.
Interesting.
So yeah. The great Hans Zimmer doing the score of that movie. But yeah, because I don't know if I'm going to see Tenet in theaters. That's the thing we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So let me just throw on Inception. And now it's making me say, I'm watching Inception. I'm like, well, maybe I will go see Tenet. I might risk going to see Tenet.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
We all stood so hard last week, and then we're all Tenet's gonna come out, and we're all gonna be like, "Hey guys," just show up at the movie theater.
Yeah, that might be. I might be weaker than I thought. So, but yeah, those are my three.
Cool. I'll go ahead and go next on this one. Just because I don't want these taken from me. I don't think they will be, but so I have 4 titles to mention: 2 movies and 2 shows. The first movie is a movie that just got put back on Netflix that I think everyone should watch, and that is The Guest. The Guest is an absolutely brilliant film. It stars Dan Stevens and Micah Monroe. It also stars Brendan Meyer, who is part of the Schmodown that we watch. The movie is incredible. It is just beat for beat, fast paced. It makes you think. It scares you at times. It's action packed. It is such a good movie. It's the movie that broke through Dan Stevens as an actor, and I cannot recommend this movie enough. The next movie I have is actually a Korean film, and it comes from the gentleman who star in the Raid movies. So it's a subtitle film, but it's an action movie that's gory, it's bloody, it's violent. It's called The Night Comes for Us. And so it stars Iko Uwais, who is the leader of the Raid movies, and then Joe Taslim, who is playing the guy from Mortal Kombat, the ice guy. What's his name? Sub-Zero. He's playing Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat. The movie is just violent. It's action-packed. It's everything you expect from like a Raid type movie. It'll leave you speechless at times, some of these action roles. And they have 2 incredibly kick-ass women in this movie who are just throwing punch for punch, just blowing people's heads off with punches and stuff like that. Such a good movie. Cannot recommend this movie enough. The 2 shows I have, one of them actually just kind of got rebooted, but one of them is Penny Dreadful starring Eva Green and Josh Hartnett. Oh, yeah. Awesome show. Yeah. Awesome show. It got cut short. Really sad to see it go, but the show is really good. And then the next one is something I just started yesterday. It's called Imposters. It's a cool show. Very interesting about essentially a ring of criminals that get into people's lives, act as like this. This follows a girl that marries gentlemen or women who are very powerful and have money. And then 30 days into marriage, she disappears and takes all their money. And it's very interesting.
Oh, I heard this.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. So I'm currently watching that called Imposters. Check that out. But yeah, those are my 4. So I have The Guest, The Night Comes for Us, Imposters, and Penny Dreadful. Brian, why don't you go ahead and go next, man?
Sweet. So I have 1 movie and 2 shows. The movie I haven't seen, but I really want to watch it because I was going to go see it in theaters, was The Lovebirds.
Yes.
That movie. Have you already watched it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it looks freaking hilarious.
Oh, with Issa Rae and Kumail.
Yes.
Right? Kumail Nanjiani. Yeah.
I want to see this. Oh.
That movie looks so funny.
And it does.
I would have paid money to see it in theater. So the fact that it's free on Netflix right now, then. And then my 2 shows, both I've already watched. The second season of Dead to Me, with which Jake, that one, with Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini. Such a dark comedy, but so funny. And then my last one, it was good. and I couldn't stop watching it, but I still to this day kind of don't know how I feel about it. So I'm just going to throw it out there. But I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Hollywood.
Yeah, it's the new show from the gentleman who did American Horror Story.
Yeah. So the thing says it's in a post-World War II Hollywood, aspiring actors and filmmakers will do almost anything to make their showbiz dreams come true. Yeah, it's pretty raunchy. I'm actually kind of surprised it made its way to Netflix. It's so it definitely does not hold back on the sexuality and nudity aspect in that show. It like twists history. I like it because it inputs real history, but then twists it. But yeah, I couldn't stop watching it, but at the same time, when I was done with it, I was just kind of like, huh. So give it a shot, I guess.
It stars the girl from Ready or Not, and it also stars Liz.
Fantastic.
Liz from Spider-Man: Homecoming, the girl who Peter Parker has a crush on. So those are the two leading. Okay. Those are the two leading ladies in the show.
It has a pretty big cast. I mean, they have Darren Criss, Jim Parsons, Patti LuPone, Holland Taylor, the woman that's married or in a relationship with Sarah Paulson, and Dylan McDermott's in it too. So it has a lot of people in it.
It's some of them are the classic
and
Ryan
Queen
Murphy
Latifah's
cast.
in it.
Yeah, some of them in the classic Ryan Murphy cast from the American Horror Story days for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Max, what do you got for Netflix?
All right, so I have a movie and a couple of shows here. The movie is kind of back onto kind of pertinent to what we're dealing with right now, and that is Hostels. It stars Christian Bale and Rosamund Pike, which is a star-studded 1-2 right there. They work really well together, and
I love her.
This movie's brutal. It's hard to watch. Right from the very first scene, it is brutal. But
it's a Western, right? Western?
Yeah, so it's basically it's pertinent to right now because it's about a white man who basically has been raised and like bred to hate Native Americans and fight against Native Americans, and now this movie is about him having to help them and save them.
The movie is incredible.
Really well.
I saw it in theaters. It is incredible.
Yeah. Brutal from the very beginning, but very good.
And brutal until the very end.
Yeah. But very good movie, excellent acting, great writing.
Yes.
All around great movie. Then a quick shout out for movies. Jake and I have been talking about Hell or High Water.
Yes.
Great movie.
So good.
What do we got in that? Chris Pine? Is that Chris Pine?
Chris Pine, Ben Foster, Jeff Bridges, just insane.
Great movie.
You guys have been yelling at me to watch that.
Didn't get talked about too much, but just very solid.
Yeah, the movie. I could watch that movie. It's the perfect example of a modern day Western. It is so good.
Mm-hmm. So that's it for me on movies for Netflix. But then I have two shows. I've got one is The Community. I haven't ever watched it all the way through. I've watched many episodes of it. But for me, I'm someone who's very devastated by the fact that The Office is on its way out. And this is the kind of show that's making it all right. Like it's a good mindless show. You can kind of watch it while doing something else. It's very funny. And it has an absolutely star-studded cast. It doesn't stop. I mean, you've got Donald Glover, Allison Brie, Chevy Chase, Joel McHale. Who else we got in here? Ken Jeong. I mean, and then the guest appearances. John Oliver, Brie Larson was on it for a little while. It doesn't stop. Like it's a great
Never
show.
Seen it. Never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it all the way through, but I'm planning right now on as soon as The Office is gone, that'll be my new kind of comfort show.
Let's be real, Max. You're just going to ask me for my HBO Max password to watch The Office.
It's going to be on HBO Max.
It's supposed to be.
I already have your HBO.
Are you sure?
Maybe it's Peacock. It might be Peacock. It's one or the other.
I thought it was going to be on like NBC or something.
Which I think Peacock might be the streaming service for NBC. Yeah.
That's their new.
But I got a free subscription with Peacock through my Xfinity, so there you go.
Too.
All right. Yes, I will be wrong. But still, the Community, if you don't have access, it's a good kind of replacement show. And then back to my kind of top of the list for TV, I think it's the best show on TV, like the currently going right. Well, that and Stranger Things, but Ozark, amazing show. Breaking Bad's one of my favorites of all time, and Ozark comes very close. I mean, it works really well. It's now in the 3rd season, came out a few months ago. Binged it. Absolutely terrific. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. You never really know exactly how it's going to end. You think one thing is going to happen, and something crazy else happens. And
that final scene, man.
That final scene. I mean, we're talking off of that months later.
I second all those thoughts.
4th season is set up to be incredible.
Yes.
I would very much suggest going to it. Oh, and the one who plays Ruth, because she's the best actress on TV right now.
Oh gosh, what is her name? I forget her name. It's like Julie something.
Yeah.
Let me find out.
Actress on TV.
Her name is Julia Garner. Yes, Julia Garner. Good call. Thank you, Brian. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and shift our gears to Prime Video. The final of the big 5, really, or the big 4, excuse me. That says HBO Max is kind of building their audience right now. So, Brian, why don't you start us off, man? Prime Video, and don't you dare take any of mine.
Oh, I have a feeling I already know one that you're going to take.
Probably.
I'm taking.
Probably.
But I haven't seen it. I want to see it. It's free up there, and that's Just Mercy.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to mention.
Yeah,
I was going to mention, so we should mention this off the top with everything going on in the world right now, with Black Lives Matter and you know the everything happening as far as peaceful protests. They have made a lot of movies that relate to this kind of protest and you know social thing going on, as far as Just Mercy, Selma, a lot of other films of that time.
Okay,
and of those
don't keep going because you're going to say a couple.
I'm not. That's all. I'm just saying it's something that we should all mention because they're all free in a number of other places, and everybody should watch those. I know that I took the chance to watch Just Mercy and Selma for the first time, and I highly recommend that everybody else should.
You want to throw up Rachel's comment for Keith?
Yes, because that is a perfect double feature. Oh my goodness!
Great.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
You know, Rachel, you might have just finished off my Friday night.
Wow.
Well,
I haven't seen either.
Wow.
Where is 310 to Yuma available?
I think it's on Netflix.
Yes. I think so. Yeah.
Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Was that? Yeah.
I haven't seen it either.
Quick question: can anybody name who directed 310 to Yuma?
No, I haven't seen it.
The great James Mangold.
Yep. Great call, Keith. Great call.
Oh my god. Rachel said it's on Netflix. So
cool.
Just Mercy. Rocket Man is on there too. Love that movie. And then
You
still haven't watched it?
No, I love Elton John too.
Keith.
Yeah, I still haven't.
It's so good. So good. And then sticking with to what Jake was saying, this movie didn't get the love it should have because it's a book movie that went a book that went to movie. The Hate You Give. Yeah. That movie is so good. I'm gonna get myself in trouble, but I don't even care. I was a substitute teacher when this movie came out and showed it to the senior class at the school I teach at, and it like blew them away. So yeah, it's an incredible movie. It guts you, but I think the book was so beloved and the movie didn't get the chance it deserved, and the movie's fantastic. So yeah, check those ones out too.
Cool. All right, Max, back to you, man. What do you got for Prime Video?
All right, I've got an Amazon original in Homecoming. So that's my TV show. So
you continuously tell me to watch this show, man.
Yeah. I've seen one season. There's 2 seasons now. The second season just came out. I'm sure you've seen the commercials for the second season. Yes. This with Janelle Monáe waking up. She wakes up in a boat. Yeah. So that's Homecoming. So first season, is Julia Roberts, and it's very tension. It's all tension. Everything is about the writing and building up tension really, really well. So I understand where if you're not ready for just looking for tension, you're not gonna love it. But it builds, and now we're at this kind of breaking point, and it looks like the next season is much larger tension on a bigger scale. You've got people like Joan Cusack is in it, Chris Cooper's in it, as I said, Janelle Monáe. So you're on a much larger scale. Homecoming, the first season, was like all kept in almost one building, very small, like 7 actors. It felt like. I mean, there was more than that, but it was a much smaller scale thing, and now it seems like they're taking tension to a much bigger level. So I'm still very intrigued. So I would recommend that. I'm about to watch season 2 of that. And then this one's a hard one for me because I love the movie. It's Wind River. I love the movie Wind River.
Oh my God, yes. Ryan hates this movie. This movie's incredible. Here's the kicker. Oh God.
So here's the thing. I can't watch it. It's so well done. It does everything that it intends to do in such a way that I can't watch it again. I mean, thinking about it.
Do you know why it's so well done? Do you want to know why?
Why?
It's from the same writer and director of Hell or High Water.
Okay, well there you go.
High Water.
I mean, it's so well done that I literally just writing the notes for this, I was thinking back to the scene that like kind of haunted me for about 2 weeks, like physically like made me ill for about 2 weeks in a good way. I mean, like it's just so strong. And if you have someone in your life, a woman that you love, your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, your wife, you're gonna be affected by this film. But that's filmmaking. I mean, that's epic filmmaking. It was done so well that, I mean, I would love to be able to watch it again because the movie is amazing. But one scene kind of just makes it very hard for me to kind of.
It's the worst thing.
Yeah,
it's the worst thing you've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's done so well that it's worth seeing. Like they get misery perfectly. So I suggest.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So if
definitely.
I hate that, am I going to hate Hell or High Water?
No.
No, they're 2 different movies. They're 2 different movies, just from the same creator. And Taylor Sheridan is really just brilliant. He's really just brilliant. So I cannot give enough credit to Taylor Sheridan for both those movies. All right, Keith, shoot us off, man. What do you got for Prime?
Well, really quick. So the reason I have this in my hands right now, and I can't believe you mentioned it, because you mentioned Hell or High Water. You mentioned Hell or High Water. I was going to bring that up, Jake, that Taylor Sheridan wrote that and wrote this. And he also wrote another movie from our guy, Sicario.
Yep.
He says, I believe he has said that those were a part of a trilogy. He's writing them. And there are some loose links between all 3 of those movies.
I could see that.
That's what he said.
I could very much see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like same world.
Yeah,
I could same world, but
yeah, they're all bleak and terrible.
Very much. Very much.
Bleak is a good way to put it.
Yes. But yeah, you're right. I went and saw Wind River at the Tower when it came out, and I was sitting, and the movie was over. I was still just sitting there like, oh, gosh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. Like, it's one of those things where I wanted to get the screen and stop that from happening. Like,
because it's something.
Anyway. But anyway. Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, but very well done, like you said. But anyway, my prime recommendation, something a little bit more fun. Although I guess there's a couple. I guess a terrible thing happens in this movie as well. I had this on Blu-ray. I just watched it, but then I noticed that it's on Amazon Prime, so certainly highly recommend it. I bet you I'm stealing this. I bet you I'm stealing one of his, and that is one of the best movies of the year last year. That is Knives Out.
No. God, every time.
I left that for Jake.
Every time.
Go first.
God.
Hey,
man.
Listen. Great. Listen. You consider it an honor. It's a great minds thinking alike here. It's okay.
This movie is brilliant. Everyone needs to watch this movie. It's so good.
it's such a tight race. I'm still in my head going between Knives Out 1917 and Ford v Ferrari. Which one was really my favorite of the year last year? It's one of those. I keep going between those three, man. Like I said, I bought it on Blu-ray a couple months ago, and I watched it. Watched it twice already, but then I saw it on here, and I'm like, oh, Knives Out is on Prime. So if you haven't seen that, must watch. I'm telling you, stop what you're doing. Well, don't stop watching this. But after this is over, before you do anything else, watch Knives Out, and you will thank us later.
100%.
Yeah, if you're comparing,
I love it. Go ahead.
If you're trying to figure out the best movie between 1917 and Knives Out, that should tell you how good Knives Out is, because that's just
yes.
right there. I was like, wow. I mean, that's
And Ford v Ferrari.
And yeah, exactly. I mean, those are like pretty high end movies, and Knives Out is right up there with them. So yeah, good movie.
And
It's been a
Keith and
while.
Jake
It's been a while.
Ford
Yeah, absolutely, man. Oh my gosh, yeah. And I haven't bought that yet. I haven't bought that movie. But another one I just watched. I talked about it on Barley and Burns. I didn't talk about it with you, Jake, because we should have kept you on for that segment. But I just watched The Gentleman. The latest Guy Ritchie film. Listen, I know.
Tell me, Keith.
Things are crazy.
Tell me, Keith. Feed me. Come on. Tell me.
There's no movies. There's no movies out. Okay, I understand, but this is the best movie of the year right now.
Yeah.
It's the best movie.
Wow.
This is full on, and it's thank you, yes, Rachel. If you've seen a Guy Ritchie movie, okay, it's a Guy Ritchie movie, right? It's
yes, it is.
It's a Guy Ritchie movie, but
Yes.
they're all different, like you said, all of it. But it's still, that's not a bad thing. I can't even. Again, I watched this the day. I think I watched this, and then I watched Five Bloods. So I've been going back and forth between both these movies in my head all week. This is so much fun. This movie is so much fun. What's the guy's name? Oh my gosh, Hunnam, Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam is so good.
Yes.
So good.
He's so much. I think I said this to Jacob. He's a lot better when he's acting in his British accent.
Well, when he kind of plays himself in a way, he's kind of playing himself a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I haven't seen the show. The show he's on.
Sons of Anarchy.
The show? Yeah, I haven't watched that, but I know it's a beloved show, and so I'll get in. I finished Breaking Bad. I got to watch that now. But I guess he's pretty good on that. I'm guessing, right? I mean,
he's great.
But
great.
Yeah. So which I'm sure he's a great actor. So, but he's great. Hugh Grant. Is something else.
Hugh Grant is in that?
Man.
Yes. Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Colin Farrell, Hugh Grant.
McConaughey is, but I haven't seen it, so I guess
I have it on my Movies Anywhere library, Max.
It's
I will borrow it to watch it.
So good. Who? The Crazy Rich Asians guy. I'm sorry.
Henry Golding. So good.
Henry Golding is so good in this.
So good.
The actress that plays McConaughey's wife, she's really good. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't know her name.
Her name is Michelle Dockery. Max, she's the wife in Defending Jacob.
Okay, which I haven't started yet, but I need to.
Oh my goodness, I'll talk about that later.
She's great in this. She's awesome in this. But yeah, Colin Farrell's awesome. Great ending to this movie, and I can't talk about it enough. Just I don't want to review it with you guys. I know we got to go, but it's just those Colin Farrell's little his team, his crew,
the boxers,
toppers or whatever they're called. That song, man, that song was killing me. In the credits too, they played it, and it's The Gentleman. Highly recommend it. And
agreed.
So I don't want to take up too much time.
Okay, so I'll go quickly so we can move on to HBO really quick. The two that I had Knives Out in there. Obviously, everyone needs to go watch this movie. But the two I have is one movie, one TV show. And I know it's a movie that I probably won't get a lot of love because I liked it. A lot of people didn't. That's Ad Astra. Everyone needs to go see Ad Astra. I know Max is shaking his head because he didn't like it. I think Ad Astra is a brilliant movie personally. So I really, really enjoy that. And then the show I have, I think I might have mentioned it last time, but it's Upload, the new Prime show that is on there. It's a 30-minute show. It's 10 episodes, so it's 5 1-hour episodes. Really, really good. Stars Robbie Amell. Very interesting story.
Robbie Amell.
So,
Right.
yeah, so I highly recommend those two. Rachel, real quick, it is on Prime, but I believe it might be for rent because it's a new 2020 movie.
Video on
you'll probably have
demand.
to check that out, but it is on Prime available, just probably not for free at this point.
It's video on demand.
Yes. All right, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and let's move on to HBO quickly. We are over time, but obviously this is something we need to do. So HBO, real quick. For myself, I have a couple. A Doom Patrol season 2 comes out in a couple weeks, and I highly recommend watching season 1. Season 1's available on HBO Max, so if you have HBO Max, it's available on there. It won't be available on regular HBO. Watchmen was just made available on HBO Max as well. Probably one of the best shows, if not the best of last year. Highly recommend. And then I have 2 movies. If you want to get your James Bond kick on, Casino Royale, watch this movie, the best James Bond movie ever made. And then another one that I'm going to mention because I'm currently doing my rewatch that Keith is going to be very happy about. That is Lord of the Rings. Go watch Lord of the Rings. They are on HBO Max, and go check those out. So those are my HBO ones.
Lord of the Rings is or The Hobbit is?
Lord of the Rings are on HBO Max.
Nope, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Brian, go ahead and go next, man.
I have the Harry Potters on there because the whole entire thing is on there. Yeah. So it's funny because Jake, you said it for the last one, but Ad Astra is on HBO Max.
It is. You are correct.
Yeah. So that was one of my ones. And then I am currently diving into the world of Doctor Who. I've never watched it, or I don't even know anyone that watches it.
Very popular show. Very
exactly.
Popular show.
Yeah. So I'm giving that a whirl. So yeah,
cool. Max,
nice.
I've only got one. It's it's just such a good movie. It's an animated film. It's by Miyazaki. It's called Spirited Away, and all of his films are on there. And I recently found out that Jake has never seen any of them, so we kind of have a side challenge. I mean, perfectly done movies. Just perfect. That's all you need to know. Animated, wholesome, perfectly done movies. Go watch them. All of them.
Well, HBO Max, correct me if I'm wrong, they have the rights to like all anime type streaming or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Warner. It's mainly Warner Brothers. It have the rights to them. Yeah. They have the rights to distribute them.
I forget what the studio is or whatever.
Keith, what do you got for HBO, man?
All right, super fast. Couple of documentaries, sports docs.
Nice.
If you, we're all talking about the Last Dance.
Oh, leaving us hanging.
Kind of missing sports here in America. So, coming off of the Last Dance, if you like that, I highly recommend. It's called A Courtship of Magic and Bird, A Courtship of Rivals, and it is about the careers and the rivalries and friendship of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And yeah, if you're basketball fans, big NBA fans of those two guys, even just sports fans in general, you really like those. I really like that one. Great stories behind both those guys. And then the other one is another basketball one, another NBA guy. He's very closely related to these two, and that is I can't remember what it's called, but it is shoot, I was trying to pull it up really fast, but I don't have it. But it's a documentary. It's about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and
I have it opened right now, so I can really look.
Okay.
Minority of One.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't have the Minority of One. Yes, it was something one. That was the one. Yeah, and it's about him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and about how he grew up as Lou Alcindor, how he got into his activism and is in the civil rights movement, and his NBA career, of course, and everything that he's doing now. So highly recommend both those documentaries on HBO.
Perfect. All right. Well, I know that there's a few random streaming services out there. I'll just throw out one. If you have a subscription to Apple TV, I highly recommend watching Defending Jacob with Chris Evans and Michelle Dockery. The story is it's just incredible. It's based on a book series. Really, really powerful show. But does anybody else have anything else they want to mention as far as streaming services they might be included in? Anybody?
No, because Keith went after my video on demand, which was The Gentleman.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Perfect.
So,
Cool. All right. Well, I guess, guys, that's going to wrap up this week's Apocaflix Now. I know we went a little overboard, but with streaming going on and it being very popular, we had to make sure that we threw it out there and gave you guys some recommendations as far as stuff to watch on all of these streaming services. And now, especially since HBO Max is available to everybody, wanted to touch on there as well. But for now, this is Apocaflix Now. You guys can find this show every single week on Friday at 7:30 p.m. If you guys are not following us on Twitter or Instagram, go ahead and follow us at Apocaflix Movies, as well as hitting the subscribe button on YouTube. Would really, really appreciate that. And if you feel willing to, hit that bell, and you guys will find out when every video is posted and whenever we go live. So go ahead and check that out. We are also available on podcast platforms, as we talked about earlier in the show. Anywhere you guys can listen to podcasts, we are there. But for now, this is this week's Apocaflix Now. So for myself, Brian, Max, and Keith, thank you for joining us as always. And we'll see you guys next week.